Hello, welcome to our Module 4, Managing Allergens in a Catering Environment. Introduction. Now, this module is about managing allergens in a catering environment. Now, every food-based business owner must know what to do when serving a customer who has a food allergy. Now, food intolerance or coeliac disease because ingredients can cause reactions. Some of these reactions can be life-threatening. By law, any food business owner must inform their customers if allergens are in the food they serve, as explained in Module 3. Now, it is very important that FBO ensure that their staff are educated and trained to have awareness of allergens and their impact on human health. This will help any food business owner implement the necessary allergen controls. Now, what are the objectives of this module? This module covers the importance of having robust allergen management procedures in place and highlight which allergens are commonly found in popular dishes when eating out. Now, after working through this module, you'll be able to understand what effective allergen controls are. You'll be able to understand what cross-contamination is and how it can occur and ways to prevent it. You know the allergens you are likely to find in different types of cuisine. Now, let's speak about the main 14 allergens as listed in Annex 2 of the EU Food Information for Consumers, where cereals containing gluten, crustaceans, egg, fish, peanut, soybeans, milk, nut, celery, mustard, sesame seed, sulfur dioxide, lupin, and mollusks. Now, how to manage allergen? Allergen management needs to be considered as part of the FBO food safety management system, which can include the FBO hazard analysis and critical control point plan, HACCP plan, or the Safer Food Better Business Pack. You can find this on the Food Standard Agency website. So what is allergen management? This is a management system to cover everything from managing supplier information to managing the information provided to consumers. So what is cross-contamination? Cross-contamination occurs when an allergen is unintentionally incorporated into another food that is not intended to contain that allergen. Very small amount of some allergens can cause severe adverse reactions. Now, some of the examples of allergen cross-contamination were provided in Module 1. It is important that FBO implement the necessary allergen controls. They also need to educate and train staff to be aware of allergens and the health impact of food allergens. Now, how do you control allergens? The food business owner should identify steps. Identify which allergens are present in the food served to customers. You should also consider any steps in your operations that may cause allergen cross-contamination. Make sure you assess the level of risk to customers with allergies and determine the steps that are critical. For example, the FBO should know which allergens are used in the same preparation area. Implement the document effective allergen management procedures to prevent or minimize allergen cross-contamination for the risks identified. For example, you should use color coding to distinguish between containers used to store food which contain specific allergens. All staff should be aware of and follow the allergen management procedures. For example, FBO can provide yearly training on allergen management for their staff. This is very important. Monitor procedures. Monitor allergen management procedures to ensure their continuing effectiveness. For example, the food business owner could audit the allergen management procedures they have implemented on a regular basis. Now, how do you review the procedures? Review allergen management procedures periodically, particularly when operations change. For example, you should review and update their allergens matrices if a recipe has changed. You've got to make sure that your suppliers comply and are familiar with food allergen specifications. For example, FBO should make sure that their suppliers inform them if they have changed or substituted any ingredients. Inform customers. Notify customers in any timely manner of any changes to the allergens present in the product. For example, this could be via verbal communication or on a menu. Cross-contamination. Let's speak about food to food. For example, by different food touching or one food dripping onto another food. Food to hand to food. Example, cooking staff or front service staff using ingredients from multiple containers holding different allergens without washing hands in between. For example, adding toppings, toppazes, assembling sandwiches, etc. Now, food to equipment, utensils, surface to food, cross-contamination. Example, sharing of utensils. For example, using a whisk to stir a milk-based sauce and then using the same whisk to stir eggs without thoroughly washing and drying the whisk between procedures. Using the same cutting board, cradle, frying pan or other surfaces to prepare fish and shellfish. For cooked in the same liquid, example, shared fryers or boiling vat for cooking food containing different allergen content. Now, preparation. FBO should handle allergens safely when preparing food. They should 1. Recheck the labeling information to make sure that any ingredients used to prepare the dish do not contain the food the consumer is allergic to, including oils, dressing, glaces, sauces, and garnishes. Number 2, you've got to inform customer. If the labels of any of the ingredients used to prepare that dish say they may contain certain allergens or are not suitable for certain customers with a food allergy, then the food business owner must let the customers know and ask them if they still wish to order. Number 3, clean area. Make sure work surfaces and equipment have been thoroughly cleaned before preparing a dish that does not contain a specific allergen. Number 4, wash your hand. Make sure staff wash their hand thoroughly before preparing the dish. 5, separate preparation. Have separate preparation boards and equipment dedicated to preparing meals to meet specific dietary requirements. If required, have dedicated preparation areas. For example, if working with flour that could easily spread onto other nearby food. Number 6, clothing. Ensure that staff preparing a dish without a specific allergen for a customer wear a clean or disposable apron over their work clothes, especially if they have worked with food containing the allergen previously that day. Remember, unlike bacteria, allergens are always present in the food and cannot be removed or destroyed by cooking. Storage. It is important to make sure food is labeled clearly, listing the allergens in the food. It can be useful to keep the original packaging from the suppliers if the ingredients are listed to refer to. Storage containers are thoroughly cleaned following their use. Food is fully covered, resealed, or placed into sealed containers if needed. Any food spillages in storage areas, equipment are cleaned up quickly and thoroughly. Allergenic food is stored below non-allergenic food or in a different area in a similar way to storing raw meat below cooked meat in a fridge. Food or fine or powdered product containing allergens, for example, bags of flour containing wheat, gluten, is handled and stored carefully to avoid cross-contamination by transfer of dust from one food to another. Now, to reduce cross-contamination from dust, it is better to place the whole bag into a container rather than pour its content into the container. Container should be clearly labeled with the ingredients. Service and takeaway orders. Cross-contamination of orders for customers with food allergies can take place during transport from the food business to the customer, amid and during service. FBO should take steps to prevent cross-contamination. This includes keeping the food for the customer with an allergy separate from another customer's food, labeled appropriately and covered well. During service, it is also important to ensure that the right meal is served to the correct person. Right, next we're going to be talking about some of the allergens found in some different type of cuisine. We'll begin with the Indian cuisine. So, allergens in Indian cuisine. Now, the most common dish in Indian cuisine is chicken korma. This dish is typically found on the menu in an Indian restaurant. Now, the dish has a list of ingredients which are often part of the recipes. Some of these ingredients are common allergens and may cause an allergic reaction in sensitive individuals. So these are the ingredients that you find in chicken korma. So you have chicken, ginger, garlic, thick natural set, yogurt, dried red chilies, onions, cooking oil, coriander, turmeric, water, cream, coconut, salt, almond, coriander leaves, lemon juice, ground black pepper. Now, the allergens present in a chicken korma are: you always find milk in the yogurt, sesame in the garam masala, mustard in the garam masala, almond a type of tree nut. So it is worth noting that almond people can be allergic to either peanut or nut or both. Now, some can be allergic to any number of nut or only one type of nut if mixed nut ingredients are used. Now, this need to be clearly identified and communicated to your customers. You've got to remember that cooking oil can contain a blend of several ingredients, including peanut and soya. Okay, next we're going to be talking about allergens in Chinese cuisine. The following dish is typically found on a menu in a Chinese dish. Now, the dish that we're going to be talking about is a special fried rice. This dish has a list of ingredients. Some of these ingredients are common allergens and may cause an allergic reaction in sensitive individuals. Now, you've got to know the allergen present in special fried rice are crustaceans, prawns, soya, wheat, eggs, mollusks, and sesame in the sesame oil. So it is worth noting that cooking oil can contain a blend of several ingredients, including nut, peanut, and soya. So the ingredients you find in this special fried rice is vegetable oil, garlic, ginger root, spring onion, Chinese roast, pork, prawns, red pepper, eggs, rice, light soy sauce, and black pepper, and also sesame oil. Now the next cuisine is the Mediterranean cuisine. Allergens in Mediterranean cuisine. The ingredients: we have onion, red pepper, garlic, soft thyme leaves, dried red chili flakes, calaspera rice, paprika, dry white wine, chicken stock, saffron strand, chicken thighs, smoked lambs, peas, tomatoes, olive oil, prawns, squid, parsley, salt, and black pepper. Now, the most common dish in some Mediterranean cuisine is lasagna. Now, the ingredients found in lasagna is lasagna sheet, minced beef, tomatoes, onion, carrot, garlic, white wine, chicken stock, olive oil, pepper, butter, plain flour, spinach or broccoli, bay leaf, milk, double cream, or black peppercorns. Now, the allergen present in lasagna are milk, as milk, cheese, butter, and cream. Serve out in the white wine, wheat in the lasagna sheet, stock cube, and flour. So it is worth noting that some stock cubes contain mustard and celery. Okay, next we're going to be talking about allergens found at the daily count. The most common dish that you found on the daily counter is Scotch eggs. Now, the allergens present in Scotch eggs are eggs, wheat in the flour, from the rusk in the sausage meat, and the fine breadcrumbs served out in the sausage meat. So it is worth noting that cooking oil can be a blend of several different ingredients, including nut, peanut, and soya. Wheat contains gluten, which is a protein found in wheat, barley, rye, and some other cereals that in people with gluten intolerance may cause symptoms similar to an allergic reactions. So the type of ingredients you find in Scotch eggs are eggs, sausage meat, flour, fine breadcrumbs, and vegetable oil. Okay, so we have come to the end of our module. Next, we're going to be doing our knowledge check. Now, in our knowledge check, you're going to be choosing the correct answer. So the first one is the main 14 allergens as listed in Annex 2 of the EU Food Information for Consumers are ginger, tomatoes, garlic, B, crustaceans, egg, fish, C, sugar, cane, honey, butter, D, spring onion or celery. Number 2, what is allergen management? Allergen management, A documented by FBO to control food sale. B, a documented system that food businesses need to develop to identify and control food allergens in their recipes. C, it is a document that helps food businesses to control rodent. Question number 3, the best way to ensure staff are aware of and follow allergen management procedures are to increase their minimum wages, to provide staff training on allergen management, to make sure staff wear their personal protective equipment, PPE. And the last question is, allergenic food should be stored below non-allergenic food or in a different area. Is it true or false? Okay, so you're gonna choose the correct answers and make sure you send those answers to the email below this module. So thank you so much. I'll see you in our last module, module 5.